against the Bengals. So let's see. Let's see if I can continue the streak. Oh, in the background you're gonna hear Undisputed. I listen to that every day, so I didn't get a chance to listen to it. So I'm about to put it back on. So if you hear that, that's what you're hearing.
He's the greatest player to ever play at Baylor.
Right.
In 1979, I was working in Dallas. I drove down to Waco just to check him out, to sit with him. I wrote a big piece about him because he was something. He averaged 24 a game at Baylor, and you could just see he was an explosive scorer.
Right. Yep.
In college, he was an explosive scorer who could just do everything with the basketball.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not seeing that from Jalen Suggs. I know it was a great ride they were on. It was it had a Cinderella feel. As Colin said yesterday on his show, it's like the David who had become Goliath.
Right.
Well, he was the leader of that team.
Right.
And he was the one and done on that team in an era that we talked about earlier in the show. The one and dones are done. We don't see
a little bit.
I assume he's going to be a one and done, but I thought before I went to sleep last night, I started thinking he's just the kind of kid who might say, you know what, we didn't finish, or we didn't close the deal this year. I would not be shocked if he said, I'm coming back.
No, Skip, because I don't think his draft stock, do you believe his draft stock is going to get any higher?
Probably not, but again, he seems to be cut from a different cloth. And as you pointed out, he was a football star in high school. He was just as good as a quarterback as he was as a basketball player when he chose basketball. And I just don't know. He seems so different that he might just say, you know what, I got to go back one more time.
Yeah.
You've seen this happen.
Yeah, of course. But I just, look. I thought he played well, but when you're talking about a top 3 pick, Skip, you have to understand what the expectations are when you're a top 3 pick. I'm talking about in any sport, Skip. It doesn't matter. Baseball, basketball, football. When you're selected that high, you're supposed to be organizational.
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
That's what they expect of you. Michael Jordan was that. You look at those guys at LeBron James and Melo and D Wade.
Yep.
They're life altering. Kyrie, when I saw Kyrie at Duke, you could tell he was special. Even amongst all the other 5-star recruits, you looked at that guy and said, he's still the best player. Even though they got 6, 7 other 5-star guys, that's the best player. The way he could handle the ball, the way he could get to the rim, you knew Kyrie was special.
Hey, last night, I had on the Nets-Knicks game, and I'd watched it up to the start of the championship
What you doing?
game, and then it kind of bled over, and I had it on the other TV.
Right.
And I'm going back and forth. Kyrie's on his way to scoring 40. It was unbelievable, the performance he put on. Not only is he Uncle Drew, but he plays so strong and physical. Nobody can keep him from the rim. And I'm looking at that versus what I see on the floor.
Oh, okay. Where you headed?
And it is day and night.
Right.
Like it's just not even. Close.
Right.
And then now we got Davion Mitchell. Let's go to the Baylor Bears. He's somewhere in that 10 to 12 range in the draft, if in fact he could go back for another year.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure he'll probably come out after his junior year. Hinesville, Georgia, as you said, the defensive player of the year in college basketball.
Right.
Only 6'2",
okay.
but to me, he is Marcus Smart with more offensive ability. He's got a wider range
I
of
thought
game.
you were going to say Lou Dort, because he played defense like he built like Lou Dort, Skip.
Yeah, he does. I guess that would work.
Or PJ Tucker.
Yeah, but Mark Smart of those guys would be ranked the highest.
Yeah.
So I'm going to the highest of the physical guard style play.
But the thing is, Marcus Smart guards everything from 5'10" to 6'8".
Yeah.
I don't know if Davion Mitchell.
Marcus Smart is 6'4".
Yeah.
This kid's 6'2".
Yeah, so that's asking a bit much.
But he is a beast of a 6'2" player.
He got a body. Like I said, when you look at the Baylor guys, those guys, they're in the weight room. They ain't doing no bad work. They lifting iron. Cause you see them. I don't even want to get the big guy. You see, what's his name? Skip Vital.
Yeah.
You can tell the way he
Vital.
Vital.
Yeah.
And the other 2 guys, I don't even want to present one of them name in Tampa. You can tell, like, hold on, that's not just a basketball body.
No, I agree. Which brings us finally to Drew Timme, or to Kispert for that matter, and both of them. But
I saw the Kispert stock fell.
He's somewhere in the middle of the first round.
Yeah, Skip. I mean, He did not have a good tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, he was an All-American. He was Conference Player of the Year. And I never thought he played like an All-American or played like Conference Player of the Year.
Remember the conference they played in. No knock on the West Coast, but still, the degree of difficulty increased and increased and increased, and he became a little more ordinary with each round that we went.
Right.
But he plays hard, I give you that, and he'll make a team. I don't even know if he could be a starter for a team.
I don't know, Skip, because you look at, you remember Sam Deckard at Wisconsin, and he was like, I had that great run. They was a team that knocked out Kentucky.
Yeah.
And he got drafted, and he had spent a couple of years. He's in Turkey now.
Yeah.
Sam Deckard was better than Kemper.
All right, Drew Timme. Most people project him somewhere in the second round. If, in fact, he doesn't go back for another year.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, he might be better served going back.
Well, maybe. But again, we see crafty, we see clever, we see highly skilled, we see play hard. But last night, he was so overmatched, he turned it over 5 times. So he held on to the basketball.
But you got to be, when you like athleticism, you got to be able to shoot. And he needs to work on his outside shot. Because see, the thing, you look at Yo might not be the most athletic, but he can shoot the 3. He can back you down in that one-step shot from the mid-range. He can post. Larry Bird.
It's also just a big,
you're exactly.
He's a big, strong.
Timmy, he's crafty around the rim.
Yeah.
What happens when those big guys don't let you get around the rim? Can you pull them out and hit the mid-range? Can you shoot the 3? And that's where he's going to have to expand his game if he wants to survive in the NBA.
Timmy also flourished because they can run you out of the gym.
Right.
And he would get out on the wing on the break at 6'10". He can run.
And guess what? They met their match because now Baylor had guys that can run better than Timmy could.
They said, no,
Yes.
you can't do that. We're not going to let you get loose on us like that.
They beat him to the rim.
Yeah, interesting. So I didn't see anybody last night where I'm saying, oh, that guy's got it.
Yeah, he would change somebody's life,
No.
right? What you call him? Eugene?
Maybe.
Yeah, he can play.
He can play.
He can play.
The light.
Yes, he can play. Buddy. Yeah, got probably going up there.
Favorite video. Okay, we're getting to the news. We're breaking down each NFL team's off-season moves. So one anonymous scout believes that signing Dak Prescott was all the Cowboys needed to do. He told The Athletic that the Cowboys, quote, did not have to do much to get better because they are already talented. They will be fine. Shannon is the scout right here.
Come on, be honest.
You're
You know he's not right. You know he's not right. Because, hold on. So, they signed Dak. So, how many years Dak been with the Cowboys?
5.
5 years. How many NFC Championship games have they been in? Oh, that many. How many Super Bowls have they been in? Oh, that many. So, in the past 25 years, how many NFC Championship games have the Cowboys participated in? That many. With all that talent.
What's your point?
You told me, every time I come out here, you told me since 2014, no team has drafted more Pro Bowl players than the Cowboys other than
Kansas City.
and the Kansas City has won a Super Bowl, participated in another, and been to the AFC Championship game 3 times. Now, in that same time frame, how many times have the Cowboys, with all that talent, participated in one of those contests? NFC Championship or the Super Bowl? Now, I get it. Because you keep telling me this, the talent. And now you got that. Skip, when I look at you guys really don't have but one top 5 player at a position. That's Zach Martin. I mean, I think D-Long might be on the outside, but I was looking at it. They list Aaron Donald as a defensive end, maybe because he's really a 5 technique and a 3-4 defense. I don't want to get too complicated.
He does a little of both.
Right.
Yeah.
So they list him as a defensive end.
Yeah.
Do you think DeMarcus Lawrence is better than Aaron Donald?
Obviously, I do not.
What about
I
Joey?
think he's pretty good.
What about Joey Bosa?
No.
Miles Garrett?
No.
So with that being
I
said,
think he's pretty good.
yeah,
Yes.
I think he's pretty good too.
Did he make a Pro Bowl? Yes.
No. He's made.
He has.
He
But
got
I'm saying, can he still make a Pro Bowl? Yes. Yep.
Can he? How you know? I can't tell.
He graded pretty well.
I bet I don't know the grades.
Yeah.
He's one of them guys that grade good, take all of it, and stay in the same grade. Because I don't see no progression. Has he gotten better since he got that big contract? It's simple, yeah. So simple, no, will suffice. Okay.
Anyway, I don't think he's gotten worse.
Skip.
He's had some no-show games. I'll give you that.
$21 million in the state of St.
I agree.
You told me guys get paid on projected. You said we can't pay Dak on what he's done. We got to pay Dak on what his projections are. With that being said, Skip, at some point in time, every year, Pro Football Focus and all these magazines says the Dallas Cowboys are the most talented team. Now, I need to know, because you've had so many different coaches, from Chad Gailey to Dave Campbell to this one or that one, and it's something. So what is it? Is it coaching? Do you find a coach and is it talent? Because you blame Rob Marinelli and Chris Richard. You blame Mike Nolan. You blame Jason Garrett. I mean, you really got to blame him.
Well, we got Dan Quinn.
You got Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
And you were ready to get rid of Mike McCarthy halfway through the
I
season.
probably was. Okay, to answer the scouts' question about they'll be fine, they will be fine if they maximize all that's left. And that means that the glass can't be just half full, it has to be like 9/10 full, or maybe full, okay? Because it's all there if you max it out. And it starts with my quarterback.
Right.
Did he get overpaid? Yes, he did. Shannon Sharp said, that's just what cost of doing
That's
business.
yeah.
Baloney. He got overpaid, but now he's on a hotter seat. Because I thought he crumbled under the pressure just to show Jerry, just to say, I'm betting on myself. And he didn't back it up because he's 6-11.
You've been telling me since 2016, Dak Prescott is good enough to take his team to a Super Bowl.
Plural. Bowls, plural. I was ready to change his first name from Rain, R-A-Y-N, Dakota Prescott, to R-E-I-G-N, as in Rain, as in Super Bowls, plural.
As in R-A-I-N.
Okay, well, it's been a hard rain on me too many times. But the point is, he got paid.
Yes.
God bless him. Go, Dak, go. 4 more years. He got everything he wanted. The deal is all Dak all the time. He ran rings around Jerry. I'm just not sure if it's Super Bowl rings or just diamond rings, right?
You know, they tell Jerry, I am not a crook.
Okay. So now he has to live up to the biggest signing bonus in the history of professional football.
Yeah.
He has to live up to the most guaranteed money in the history of the National Football League. He has to play up. I've called him Brady-esque to you many times.
Yes, you have.
He has to... live up to the kind of season Tom Brady had in his first season for the Buccaneers last year when he was graded by Pro Football Focus number 2 quarterback in the regular season and number 1 overall quarterback in grade in the postseason.
Right.
That's the kind of year he's going to have because it's, for me, it's going to be Dak or bust.
Right.
But now let's say, wait a second, does he have weapons? Well, you know he has weapons because Zeke is still a semblance of Zeke. Well, he's still a semblance, and he has his moments, and I think he will snap out or whatever.
1,400 yards rushing?
What's that?
1,400 yards rushing?
It's got potential. I don't know if I want to go that far. I don't want to jinx my team. I jinxed it last year, so I'm biting my lip. I'm not going to go
Your
there.
team is terrible. You ain't jinxing.
Okay. Blake Jarwin was going to have a breakout year last year, and he blew out his knee in game number 1 out here against the Rams as they opened their new stadium. That's a big loss. I've called him Shannon Jarwin before.
Well, Shaw's playing well, Skip.
Okay, but Blake Jarwin's got athletic build. Dak's called him the best athlete on the team. Well, he's back, and I hope he can get and stay completely
Well, that
healthy.
in and of itself tell you that they're talented. If the guy is the best athlete on the team.
Okay, well, yeah, but those 3 receivers can be lethal. You know it and I know it. They all have 1,000-yard potential, each and every one of them. CeeDee Lamb will continue to rise and shine. He will become the number 1 receiver this
You
year.
better not. You're paying Amari Cooper $21
Well,
million.
that's fine. That's a done deal. It's over and forgotten.
Yeah.
We got to move
You
forward.
paid him that just to keep him away from the football team.
Okay, we did. But the point is that if the offensive linemen live up and stay healthy, I'm doing the glasses full. If Ty Smith can have a year, he's not too old to have another Pro Bowl year. Lyle Collins is definitely not too old to have a Pro Bowl year.
Both coming off major injuries.
But they're not old men. They're younger men. Ty just turned 30 Lyle Collins is 27.
Yeah. But when you have the kind of mileage that Ty Smith has, that back, they're going into that back again. He had knee problems. Every year, you notice he's having more injuries, and they're keeping him out for more extended periods of time.
Okay, Zach Martin, as you just said, he can be number one in his position if he just stays healthy.
Yes.
So give me those three reasonably healthy for all year. I can cook with that. And then on defense, give me DeMarcus Lawrence, give me Randy Gregory. I think Aldon Smith may re-sign with them before all is said and done. Give me those kids that they have inside, Neville Gallimore and Tristan Hill. They're pretty good. And then all of a sudden, we had one free agent signing that was pretty good. Keanu Neal. He made the Pro Bowl in 2017 and had an Achilles and had an ACL, and he can't run anymore, so he can't play safety, but they're going to transition him to linebacker. Wolf Hunter, Jalen Smith, Keanu Neal. Now at least you'll start to stop the run. They were second worst against the run.
You got a bunch of guys that miss a lot of tackles close to the line of scrimmage.
Okay, but
Wolf Hunter, Jalen Smith, and Keanu Neal.
Okay, we gave up one 300-yard rush day to the Cleveland Browns and three other 200-plus yard
Well, the Ravens, if they'd have kept at it, they'd have got 400 on you.
I got you.
Feel sorry for
But
you.
I like the linebackers if they can stay healthy. Wolf Hunter has been fragile.
Yes.
He's been brittle.
What y'all gonna do with Sean Lee?
Okay, well, I'm not even including him in the...
Why not?
Well, I think he's done... He might be an assistant coach next year. He may coach the linebackers. Then I think they're going to take Patrick. I hope they take Patrick Surtain. Unless, of course, somebody else falls for them. We're going to talk about that a little later. But if you have Surtain and Trevon Diggs, the two Bama bookend corners, I'm pretty good with that. Kazee had one good year. He led the league in interceptions, at least tied for it. He had the most interceptions over a 2-year period before he blew his Achilles tendon out. So I don't know if he's healthy, but he's going to start at free safety, making a grand total of $1.1 million. My mom always said, you get what you pay for. Maybe that's what
Well,
you
you got
get.
$1 million safety.
Okay, $1 million savings. 1.1. That's what Cam made last year, right? Okay, and then Donovan Wilson had a breakout year last year at strong safety. So I just gave you the makings of a much better defense with a new defensive coordinator who has to be better than the old one who was simply the worst.
He has to be with the same ingredients, huh?
Well, I don't know. He loved his Atlanta kids, so he brought them along for the ride, right?
I didn't look at Atlanta. At some point in time, and Jerry, this is Jerry's problem. Jerry will always make excuses for his players because he's so close to the players. Jerry see a player like he gonna get him a drink. Hey, that's how Jerry is. He blamed, it's always the coaches. It was Wade Phillips' fault, it was Dave Campbell's fault, it was Jason Garrett's fault, it's this one's fault, it's always someone's fault. What about those players? At the end of the day, all I can do as a head coach is prepare you, give you the best game plan, both offensively, defensively, and special teams. Now it's up to you to go execute that. When y'all gonna execute that?
Next year. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We have a made man as our head coach.
Stop saying that.
He had a rocky first year, but he's back.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You have a man that got made. Now, I want to know, how does a guy coach 13, 14 years, get two guys, you got a guy that, I mean, think about what he's had. He had Brett Favre with 3 MVPs.
Yeah.
He got Aaron Rodgers with 3 MVPs. So he has a guy with 6 MVPs between the two of them, and he's got 1 Super Bowl appearance on his resume.
He was a postseason victim of Aaron Rodgers.
No, Aaron Rodgers was a postseason victim of him.
Aaron Rodgers, 7 and 8 since that long ago Super Bowl in the postseason.
As a matter of fact, what's Mike McCarthy's record without Aaron Rodgers? He can't even make the playoffs. At least Aaron Rodgers going to the NFC Championship game without him.
It's time, Dak. Rise, shine, Super Bowls, plural. Yeah.
Just let them get to
Yeah.
How about y'all win the division? Y'all not even win the division.
I didn't bring up the division because it's over. It's a joke.
Y'all only won the division in 2 years.
Okay, time out.
Okay.
Do you want to place any bets on the division next year? No, you don't. You're too afraid.
I'll tell you what, you take the Cowboys like I defeat them.
Okay, I'll do
Y'all
that.
got you. Y'all appreciate it.
You got me?
You proposed that bit.
I think in 2021 you're now down 32 cases to me, so I'll
I'm down like 25.
I'll put 5 on that. You want 5? I'll take Dallas versus the field in the NFC least. Thank you.
James Wiseman is getting tips from more than just his teammates. Wiseman said he not only has gotten advice from Kyrie Irving, but he also talks to Kevin Durant every day and has known him since high school. Brookie said that KD helps him with the Warrior system and how he should fit into it. So Shannon, were you surprised to hear this?
I was a little, but I guess I shouldn't be, Skip, because guess what? The top high school basketball players, Skip, they come in contact with these NBA players because of Nike has basketball camps, so does Adidas. So you're wearing one of those shoes, and they have the Kevin Durant, they have the Kyries, they have the guys, the James Harden with Adidas, and these other guys, they go back. And so you get an opportunity to see the top high school players. And obviously, and you see a lot of time floating on social media, Jason Tatum, he took a picture with everybody when he was coming up as a little kid. He was LeBron, he got a picture with Kobe. And so, Skip, you see it with social media now. Guys just reach out. Guys play well, and guys start following guys, and I'm sure guys hit them up in the DM. So I was a little surprised, but you know what? Now that I look back at it, traveling AAU teams, Skip, these high school guys, Skip, Zion probably had 2-3 million followers when he was in high school. So it's different now than what it was when I was in high school, or 10 years after I got out of high school. These guys are a household name now. People knew who Zion Williamson was in high school. Whereas before, you didn't know who the guys were. You just wait till they get to college, and unless you played AAU ball, but everybody knows who these guys are now. So now with the basketball camps and these guys, James Wiseman, I'm sure he went to a Nike camp. And I'm sure probably KD and Kyrie, some of these other guys were there. They exchanged information, and here we are today. So, but I don't think the Warriors should have a problem with it.
Well, not the Warriors. I think the Nets would have a problem.
Why?
Well, are they trying to train or raise a player to dethrone them? Is that what they're trying to do?
They didn't worry about KD, ain't worry about that.
Okay.
That's where you're securing yourself, you ain't worry about that.
Okay. So, what I call the dubious duo is at it again. And the dubious duo are two of the greatest offensive players we have ever seen in the history of this sport of basketball. But the dubious duo, Kyrie and KD, as great as they are on the court, as unstoppable as they are on the court, they can be inexplicable to me off the court. I can't defend a lot of their actions. I'm dumbfounded by a lot of things that they do. We just went through the ordeal. KD versus our man Michael Rappaport. And from day to day, I don't know what Kyrie's going to do next. From night to night, I don't know what he's going to do next on the court, because he got 40 last
If
night.
he play, he's going to drop probably 30, 40.
Yeah, if he plays. That's the key phrase, right? So the dubious duo is at it again, because James Wiseman is saying, well, yeah, they constantly give me feedback and counsel me and teach me. And he says, James Wiseman, that he talks to Kevin Durant every day. Talks to him every day? Well, okay, forgive me, I'm old school on this, but Michael Jordan, greatest player ever played, my favorite player of all time, there is no way he would do this, because it's just not how you do business in the National Basketball Association. It is not up to Kevin and Kyrie to raise up James Wiseman, who, by the way, has a lot of ability at 7 feet tall, and he can shoot it. So far this year, he's averaging 11 and 6, but he's had a 25-point game, and he's had 2 11 rebound games. So that's 25 and 11, so you can see it's there. It is there.
Right.
And there are nights when I watch him, I say,
Well, Skip, it's a different time. It's a different era now. Guys work out together.
Okay.
You didn't see. Before COVID, Skip, out here in LA, you would see Kevin Durant, James Harden before he was linked up with him, and LeBron, all of these other guys competing in the same gym. Guys work out together, even in the NFL. Guys will work out together. That was never really the case early on. But now, Skip, it's a different era now. Guys feel I can be friendly off it, but still go do my job on the field to make sure I get my job done and compete at a high level.
okay, but it's one thing to be friendly. It's quite another to coach a kid from a distance. But Kevin's coaching James Wiseman on the Warriors offense, which Kevin obviously knows like the back of his hand. And he's trying to explain to him, this is where you need to be, this is how you do it, this is where you're going to get your best shots from. This is how you play off Steph or whoever's out there at that point. Right? So that's Kevin on a daily basis trying to teach and coach James Wiseman. Well, as you said, it's like the height of arrogance or just sheer audacity. Like, I'm Kevin Durant, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you Kevin Durant teach him everything Wiseman knows. Not everything I know.
Well, okay.
They're two totally different players. If James Wiseman was the skill set of Kevin Durant, okay, maybe. Let's get I don't believe. Why are you hoarding that information? Yeah.
It's one thing to teach your teammate, like you've told me before. You went ahead and divulged to the young tight ends.
Yeah.
This is how I do it, right?
Yeah.
Because that's sort of your obligation as an older player. I'll show you the way. I'll show you the ropes. Okay. I got that, but this is a player on another team that you should have.
You got like he's showing that information and sharing it with LeBron. If he ain't sharing it with LeBron, is he? Oh, Giannis?
Who? Kevin?
KD.
Oh, LeBron could use it.
No, you
He's the best player on the planet.
don't do that skill.
Well,
I thought you had to play to be the best player.
well, I mean, Kevin can teach LeBron how to shoot. We know that.
Free throws, that's all you teach about this shit.
Yeah, I wonder if LeBron's... Is he practicing his free throws? Right now, because
One leg.
bad ankle does not stop you from going in the backyard and shooting.
We got that one leg up like a flamingo practicing free throws.
Really? Really?
Yeah, come back. Make him sit.
100? You make, what, 95 out of 100 in the backyard?
Sometimes we do like, then we have a Steph Curry moment, we win 100 for 100.
Did you?
And then a couple times we win like 55 out of 100, we win like 75 out of 100, but we improved with that.
So in golf, they call that Ranger Rick because you can't take it from the driving range out to the real golf course, right? You're just Ranger Rick. You're over there on the range.
Yeah, but see, in the range is just wide open space. See, on the court, you got to bend it, you got to slide it, you got to hook it.
I know, but it's just the pressure of now it really counts. Now if I miss one, it counts.
And then you don't got fans lined up like so.
So you're telling me the 69% free throw shooter that is LeBron James, MVP, quote unquote, is going to improve quickly?
Hello. James Wiseman, this one by James Wiseman.
I know, but I read this story yesterday that LeBron gets up at 5 a.m. to start rehabbing. I'm not sure how much you can do at 5 a.m. to your ankle. You put ice on it.
Ice, stem, yeah, we do all that. We yes, we get the blood flow. Probably do a little acupuncture. Get out.
Wet heat, ice, wet heat, ice. You just keep doing it all day long.
Every couple of hours, we probably, we sleep it in the hyperbaric chamber, get the blood flow, altitude training, that's what we're doing that. We're doing plenty of that, but I tell you what, when we come back, we'll be ready.
Yeah.
It's like we never left.
Well, I'd like to see him down the stretch shoot 85% from the free throw
And
line.
I tell you what you will see down the stretch, holding the trophy up.
Yeah.
That's what you see down the stretch.
Well, he'll watch Rondo hold it up.
Rondo will hold it. Stop it. No. I'd rather Brooklyn Nets with like 3 of them. As opposed to that team
If
with
the
him.
Nets aren't careful, they're going to watch James Wiseman hold it up.
Seriously. Stop it.
No, I'm serious.
How you hold it up with Stephen Clay with the Lakers? What happened that year? When they traded.
At some point, Klay Thompson's actually going to be able to play pretty soon.
Guess what? And Steph will be playing alongside LeBron and AD.
Think so? Yeah, LeBron needs all the help he can.
No,
He needs to get Dame. He needs them all. Come all to LA.
I would love to have Dame.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Dame with LeBron and AD?
Yeah.
That would be the cool. Hold on. I love how you got a problem with it. If LeBron get anybody, you got a problem. KD got the most stacked offensive lineup in the history of the NBA, and you ain't said a peep. Now you got a Brooklyn Nets jersey, you got a Clippers jersey, you might sew them together.
I just like Clippers got Rondo. That's all that really matters. So we got Clippers versus Nets in the finals, and then we'll see what happens.
Nah.
Yep. I think Rondo will be the difference.
Lakers.
Yep.
All I'm saying, all I need is to get help. That's it. All I need is help. I don't need nothing else.
Do you have any updates for us, Shannon? Have you checked in with your guy?
It is suspicious how long he's been out.
It ain't no suspicion. Them give everybody to be 3 weeks on Sunday. Stop doing that. You know good well it's Saturday. It's just suspicious.
No mercy. Saturday night, the NASCAR Cup Series moves to FS1, where we can see our ace Jeff winner of the season catch all short track action with the Blue Emo Maximum Taylor League 500 from Martinsville Saturday at 7 Eastern on FS1 and anywhere on the Fox Sports app. All right. Let's break down what we saw, guys. Baylor jumped out to an early lead over Gonzaga last night and never looked back on the way to an 86-70 win. The Bears never trailed once on route to handing the Bulldogs their first loss of the season. And Jared Butler, who dropped 22 points in the win, walked away with the most outstanding player honors for Baylor. Fox College basketball analyst Steve Lavin is now with us. Coach, it is great to have you, but I hate to remind you, you were leaning the Zags yesterday, so how surprised were you by the outcome?
Not surprised by Baylor's victory, but the convincing fashion was surprising. They dominated from start to finish, and their ball pressure, their athleticism, their quickness, the balance they demonstrated in terms of defensively being outstanding, but then on offense, knocking down 10 threes. And on the year, they shot 42% from long range. And those three guards played with a chip on their shoulder. When you look at Butler and Mitchell and Teague, clearly the best perimeter attack in the country. And they brought it at a magic level last night, and it led to them cutting down the nets.
Coach, I agree with you. That's what my thing was. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that they won. But the convincing fashion in which they used to dominate, they dominated this team, and I thought it was their quickness and their physicality. If you look at the Baylor players, they have football bodies, and they were able to get into the Gonzaga guys. They never let them get to where they wanted to. And as you mentioned, when you make those kind of threes and you get 16 offensive rebounds, my concern was when you play three guards, you're a little undersized, Coach. So how do you get rebounds? But what happens is that they put Drew Timme in the high pick and roll, and so they can get whatever they want. But if they didn't, the big guys will roll into the rim and get layups and dunks. And so now even if you missed the shot, you got a big guy on a guard trying to box out a 6'6", 6'7" guy, which kept Vital just kept getting rebound after rebound after rebound, giving them second chance after second chance. Gonzaga, whatever they didn't do was because the Baylor would not allow them to do it.
Yeah, it was almost, if we use a football parallel, like some of Pete Carroll's strong USC teams or Nick